Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, children of all ages, RealSport101.com and the Ho Train are proud to bring to you the Caps, Locks, and Chair Shots podcast. My name is Everton, and with me, as always, is my newest tag team compatriot. You know him on YouTube as the Unfunny Comedian. He is Alex. Say hi to the people, Alex.
I am not prepared for this level of anarchy.
Very well. When are you? Joining us is the muscle of this podcast. He is a future MMA fighter and hopeful voice of the Philippines, the one, the only, the Jaime.
What's up, wrestling fans? What are we waiting for? Let's talk about the action right now.
All right. And joining us, because the pretrial motions are still being filed, the trial is still delayed, we welcome back, on probation, the real Danny D. Say hi to the people, Dan. Oh, Dan. Daniel. Okay, so Danny D may not be joining us today. Interesting. All right, let's go ahead, and since Dan doesn't want to talk, let's talk about Extreme Rules. Jaime, talk to me. What was the thing that you loved the most about Extreme Rules?
Definitely the main event. It lived up to its potential, and I'm just not sure if I'm in favor of Samoa Joe winning that Fatal 5-Way match.
Alrighty, Alex, talk to me. Your favorite thing about Extreme Rules?
I guess Neville versus Austin Aries.
Oh, going with the cruiserweights. I dig it. Dan, is that your static I hear?
Yes, it is.
Where the hell were you when I introduced you? Come on. This is the reason you're on trial.
I mean, I had to go die.
You're sabotaging my show, Dan. Tell me what you liked about Extreme Rules. What was your one big thing?
The cage match. It was amazing in person as well.
You're a mark for the Hardys. That at least we're consistent here on the Caps, Locks, and Chair Shots podcast. You can count on women hating from Alex, Jaime to boast about the cruiserweights, Dan to be an indie mark, and me to absolutely hate it. So we continue. Let's start it match by match on the card. Kalisto, Apollo Crews. Alex, tell me your thoughts on the match that was on the pre-show. What's up with the Titus brand? Is it something you want to see?
I think Titus should be on every show. He should go down to NXT and just try and collect new recruits from NXT, go to SmackDown and get someone from SmackDown, and then they should just all invade at the same time. But as for the match, I don't actually care about the match.
Okay, I'm cracking a cold one open with the boys, folks. Jaime, your thoughts. Kalisto, is this something that you care about?
Yes, in a way. As much as I would want Kalisto to, bring his talents to 205 Live, I actually like that match. It's very rare that you would see a big guy and a small guy being able to hang, being able to mesh together inside the ring gracefully.
Okay, Dan, is Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews, is this something that should be continued into the future, or is this just a way to get Titus some appearances on TV?
I think you gotta. I mean, this is great. This is exactly what they need. It's just like the Fashion Files on SmackDown. You're getting these guys on TV. They're great. This is what Apollo needed. Apollo can't talk on the mic. I just wish he would stop smiling all the time and he started to play that heel role.
For one, you cannot compare the Titus brand to the Fashion Files. It's not an equal comparison. It's like comparing Brock Lesnar and Heath Slater. It's not a comparison.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar doesn't care about your kids.
Correct. Heath Slater is a lot better than Brock Lesnar.
You're pushing it, Dan. I'm really trying to be nice, but you're pushing it. Moving on. The Miz defeated Dean Ambrose to become Intercontinental Champion in a match that made absolutely no sense on a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules. Jaime, tell me. I gave it 3 stars on my recap. What did you think of the match itself?
Well, they were able to make it work. I was surprised. See, the thing with The Miz is he can think of a million ways to make a dirty finish very convincing. Not the cliche, the interference and all. Although Maurice got involved in the match, he always has this unique way of thinking of a dirty finish for a match. May it be a title match or a regular singles match.
Alrighty.
But the match itself, yeah, I'm impressed they were able to make it work.
Okay. Alex, is it me or is Maurice she's not as good looking as what she once was?
I'm gonna have to go, accept your superior judgment on that one.
See, I set it up for you. I threw it right in your wheelhouse to hate on women again. You're growing as an individual, and I like that. That's what we're all about here on the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast. Personal growth. Dan, tell me, why on God's green earth did this happen? That we'd have a loss of the champion's advantage match on a pay-per-view that was called Extreme Rules. Why?
No, because WWE loves bad booking. I don't know. It was terrible. The match was great. Like, as far as the wrestling side of it, it was a terrible match as far as just the whole stipulation behind it. The crowd was not engaged at all during this match, and it just fell flat.
Especially for it to be the top match on the card. Like, that's the one that you lead the pay-per-view into, and it was well worked, but terribly planned.
I wish they would have kicked the show off with a cruiserweight match, just because all the pyro, and then you just have that leap second before the music hits, and then boom, the pyro would have hit again for Neville like 2 minutes later, and I feel like it just would have kept.
Hold up. Are you saying that the champion should have come out first?
It's happened before. I mean, if you watched Impact last night,
well,
we saw it 4 different times.
I'm not saying it hasn't happened before. I'm saying it shouldn't happen.
Oh, I completely agree with you there.
I don't disagree with you on that. But if Aries had pyro, then I would have. Then I would be fine. But the fact that Neville has pyro and you just had the pyro go off and the crowd's going crazy because they're doing the crowd cam and they're taking it through the arena, and then you just hear Neville's music hit and the pyro hit because he's so over as a heel that it just would have. I felt like that match wouldn't have felt. I feel like the match would have felt as they did if they would have switched those two, because you had Beach Balls pop up again in the cruiserweight match in the crowd. I had to deal with that the night after Mania, and that shit got annoying quick.
Speaking of cruiserweights, we're going to hold off on the Neville Austin Aries match because the next match on the card it had cruiserweights in it. Rich Swann and Sasha Banks defeated Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. I'm going to throw this question out to you, Dan, first, and we'll get to Jaime because 205 Live is his deal. Is anybody else as tired of seeing these 4 people together as I am? I could go the rest of my life and not see Sasha Banks and Rich Swann dance. Am I alone here?
I agree with you on that. I probably would say we have different opinions on this match, though, just based on that statement. But yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm over the whole love booking.
Alex, what are your thoughts?
I actually like this booking because it shows that they're willing to let the cruiserweights interact with the rest of the roster, which they haven't done before. And I even thought the match itself was pretty good. Nonsensical at times, like all mixed tag team matches are, but it was pretty good for what it was.
Okay, Jaime, talk to me. 205 Live's your deal. Where do we go from here with Noam Dar and Rich Swann?
You know me, I'm the optimist for the cruiserweight division, but this match, this booking, this rivalry, it's got to end. To be honest, their match at Extreme Rules, the mixed tag match, I cared more about Sasha Banks showing her dance moves rather than the entire tag match itself.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of agree with you on that. As much as I hated seeing them two dance, it was probably the highlight of the thing. Did Alicia Fox do her moonsault? Do we get to see that? No?
Can't seem to remember.
Yeah, that's how
I kind of fell sleepy in that part.
that's how forgettable that match was. We were looking forward to seeing one move, and we don't even remember if we saw it. Now, that may have been forgettable, but something that will be unforgettable is the kendo stick on a pole match. Terrible doesn't begin to describe this, Alex. Take me through this Vince Russo-esque booking. What did you... did you like it at all?
I did not like it. I did not like this match at all. And I really am wondering if Vince Russo was the one who booked it. Like, did they secretly bring Vince Russo back? Because this was that bad. This had no story. This had no logic to it.
Well, it had
terrible
story.
match.
It had story. It didn't have a great story, but it had a story. It had the Three Little Bears compared to Moby Dick. It had a story. It maybe didn't make a lot of
The
sense.
Three Little Bears had a better story than this.
We're not going to get into the discussion about how nonsensical the Three Little Bears were. Okay, because, I mean, bears living in a house, don't get me started. That's some Animal Farm bullshit. Let's move on. Dan. Kendo stick on a pole match. Bayley was the one that took it down. Alexa was the one that used it. Doesn't that go against the rules?
No, listen. This is a serious question. Like, what are they doing with Bayley? Like, did they just let Taker bury her? Like, did they bring Taker?
Dan?
Like, what are they doing with her?
What do you mean let Taker bury her? What are you talking about?
Like, they just put her in a squash match with Alexa Bliss on a pay-per-view. Like, you're not building up this. You're not building up, probably your biggest drawing merch female superstar because of the girls, the young female audience. Like, you just buried her by putting her in a squash match. Like, she had to win that match in Extreme Rules. Do you guys not agree?
Well, to be fair, they've done the same thing with, you take the boobs off of her and give her a crap ton more charisma and talent, you get John Cena. You can draw parallels between their career. Cena's been buried on pay-per-views before. Like, buried on pay-per-views before. Lesnar freaking destroyed him. And we were asking these same questions then. And then Cena goes around and does what he has done since then. I don't think
you think she's okay? You think she's okay?
I don't think she's okay. I never thought she was okay. I thought she needed more time in NXT. I thought, the other three came up at the right time of the Four Horsewomen, but she probably needed a little bit more seasoning. I completely despise the hugging gimmick, whatever. And if I hear Byron Saxton say waving inflatable arm flailing Bayley buddies again, I might shoot my television. I can't stand the character. That being said, as a wrestler, she's solid. She just needs more time to develop that je ne sais quoi that all big stars have, that Charlotte has, that Becky has, that even Natalya has for as much as I've ripped on her in the last few months. Jaime, what did you think of the match itself and the decision to let Bliss win?
I think right now it's a better decision to put the belt around Alexa Bliss for a little longer time. Like, up to the time when the iconic duo gets called up and she would have legit cronies by her side. But, yeah, as for Bayley, I definitely agree with what you say. And just to add to that, Bayley's not the most, how can I say this? She doesn't know how to adapt to different, working with different women. Like, the only good match that I got invested on was her matches with Sasha Banks back in NXT. I think those were two matches they had. Two matches worth remembering from Bayley. The rest, nah.
Okay, fair enough. since you brought up remembering matches, Dan, I'm going to give you a minute and a half. Gloat about the Hardy Boys and the tag team match. You have the floor, Dan. Go.
Oh my god, that was the best match on the card. It had nothing to do with even the Hardys, just the Hardys. I mean, what Sheamus and Cesaro did in that match themselves is ridiculous. One thing I did notice live, I don't know how it came across on the screen. I haven't been able to watch Extreme Rules back yet. But is the Hardys do need to work out kinks with some of these other stars. You've seen it on Raw with The Miz. There's not smooth transitions with them right now, and it's coming across bad. But that match in general, like, you take the bad out of it, I mean, you got to give that at least 4.5 to 5. I'm not sure what you gave it. I think you gave it 4.5 on your review, didn't you?
Yes, I did. But you're wrong. You're wrong. And let me tell you why. The Hardy Boys are, and I'm going to sound a lot like Sheamus and Cesaro, they're a nostalgia act that people fell in love with because they were stars when they were young. The Hardy Boys need to be split up. They need to push Jeff, let Matt slip into senility or insanity, whichever you prefer, and just go away. Let Jeff go push for maybe the Intercontinental, perhaps even the Universal title. I don't know. Let him have a match with Finn so the internet can explode, and then let him go away.
So are you saying that the Hardys need to fade away and classify themselves as obsolete?
I'm saying my finger is a quarter of an inch above the delete button on both of them. Never to return. Empty the recycle bin. Done. I'm done with the Hardys. I was done with the Hardys in 2009. What?
We've now been sued by Anthem Entertainment.
Why? Because I mentioned a key on a keyboard? I mean, if they're gonna sue me for saying the word delete, they're gonna have to sue every computer maker in the history of computer making for having the delete button. Just saying, Anthem, you're maybe taking this a little too far. Okay, Jaime, the tag team title match, where do they go from here with Sheamus and Cesaro? They are now officially the Bar, now that they have the titles. Where do they go from here?
Well, I see a title reign not unless the revival turn face and put on a classic with them. I hope they do, but right now put it on their waists a little longer because I don't think anybody could challenge them at the moment without the revival with Dash Wilder still on the sidelines.
Okay.
They're dropping the belts to the Hardys soon.
You think it's going to be that quick?
I do. I think it's going to be quick because I think they want to split up Sheamus and Cesaro as soon as the Revival are able to come back. I think that would be the best thing for them to do.
You see,
is to actually have them split up and maybe actually give Sheamus a push, a legit heel push, and Cesaro can easily just go back to being babyface Cesaro and actually give him a legit push this time. He's more than just a tag team wrestler.
Fantasy booking, my friend. That's fantasy booking. I did hear an interesting piece. It's a rumor. It's very much a rumor that Paul Ellering is going to bring up the Authors of Pain to the main roster the night after SummerSlam, and they're going to take out Sheamus and Cesaro.
Those guys are way too fucking green.
Yeah, you talked about Bailey needing more time down there. They need like fucking 5 more years.
Whoa. Let's watch the F-bombs, guys. This is a family program. We are PG now. But, yeah, I completely agree with you guys. I'm just saying, read the rumor. Just throwing it out there. Speaking of throwing things out there that probably should have gone a different way, Neville defeated Austin Aries by submission to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. Is anybody else, and let's start with Dan, as pissed off as I am that Austin Aries lost again?
Yeah, it's and he lost clean.
Yeah.
Like, he lost clean. Like, that can't happen. Your heel champ can't keep winning. Like, at Mania he won Like it's bad. Like I feel bad for A-Double.
I feel bad for A-Double. The fact that he went from being a headliner at Slammiversary to being on the pre-show at WrestleMania. We're going to get into that later on in the show. Alex, Neville, Austin Aries, what'd you think of the match? I gave it 3 stars. Am I wrong?
I'd give it like 4, maybe 4.25.
You thought it was that good? You thought it was that good?
Yeah, it was a pretty good match in my opinion.
The crowd killed it.
The crowd definitely did kill it. But just the match itself was really pretty good. And as far as Austin Aries losing, like I've read that he's going on break. He's taking a break, so they definitely wouldn't want to give him the title because of that.
Right, but what do they do with him when he comes back? He's lost definitively.
Put him in like the U.S. title picture or something.
He's such a good heel, though. I wonder if he's just going to come back heel. Like, I wonder if they're going to put that belt on a babyface in the 205 division. Like, if they give it to a Mustafa Ali or maybe even a Jack Gallagher. Like, and then Austin Aries comes back and just turns heel because he has such good mic work as a heel. I mean, it even came through some in this babyface run. So I wonder if that's the plan. He's taking like a month or 2 off and come back and win the belt as a heel.
We're going to put a pin in that because I have a genius idea that kind of ties in everything we've talked to about the last couple of months. I'm going to get Jaime's take on this, 205 Lives' deal. Jaime, is Neville the most dominant champion in the WWE right now? Lesnar doesn't count because we don't see him.
I definitely agree because now that he's done with Austin Aries and he did the same with TJP in 205 Live this week, he's pretty much disposed of all his competition on all his levels. So, yes, is anybody on the Neville level right now?
I hate that alliteration. I really hate the Neville level. That is so stupid. Whoever coined that phrase needs to be shot in the face. But no, nobody is. Now, I said I wanted to put a pin in something before I talked to Jaime, and this is what it was. Aries is going away. AJ, more or less, doesn't have a feud going on right now. He's got a rivalry kind of thing, which has given us some fantastic matches between him and Dolph Ziggler. Bobby Roode is probably going to drop the NXT Championship to Hideo Itami. I'm not going to draw any parallels, but with Kurt Angle maybe on the outs as Raw General Manager, Triple H kind of going back and forth, will we see maybe a big impact, wink wink, made by some former TNA guys? Dan, you see it happening?
That would be very interesting to see. That's like some indie thinking right there, if I have to say so myself, Ed. I would love to see that. I would love to see like two huge factions collide like that. And like a Survivor Series or something like that. That would be awesome.
Well, I'm just saying, wrestling is cyclical. It would be the exact same way they brought in kind of the exact same way they brought in the NWO, and the NWO made wrestling as hot as it's ever been. Alex, how far off am I here? Is this something you would like to see, a TNA invasion?
I mean, I guess it could, if they booked it really, really well, and it wasn't the WCW and ECW invasions again, but it could be good. But no, it's not going to happen because it would be pretty much free advertisement for TNA, and WWE is never going to do that.
Here's my question though, Ed: is how do they get AJ in there with him being on SmackDown and everyone else on the Raw?
They don't need to explain it. They legit don't need to explain it. They just need to have AJ how would they get Bobby Roode up from NXT? It'd just be Kurt Angle sitting in his office, and comes A-Double. Be like, yeah, Cruiserweight sucked. Angle goes, you need to get some friends, man, because you can't be sitting here talking to me. He goes, yeah, put me in a match tonight because I got some friends. He gets in a match night, and all of a sudden you see Bobby Roode walk down through the crowd. He gets involved. And then you see AJ's music hit at the end of the match. And all three of them cheers. Out comes Angle. What's going on? AJ goes, what do you mean what's going on? You planned this. Now we got four of them together. Not to mention, this could be led up perfectly with some comedy. You could have Crazy Steve, who is a free agent apparently. He didn't sign his contract with the WWE from what I've been told. He could come out and be crazy and be like, oh, it's going to happen. Armageddon's going to happen. It's going to happen. The worlds are going to collide. Everybody just assume, hey, it's somebody being a nutball. A la what Midian did with corporate ministry. And then, before you know it, Crazy Steve's predictions come true. And now we have 4, maybe 5 TNA guys just running roughshod. They appear on both shows. They even appear in NXT. Hell, they appear in 205 Live and just do whatever they want. Come out in the middle of a match, unannounced, and just destroy both guys in the ring. Just to prove, hey, we're here, we can do it.
That is the most insane fantasy booking horse crap I've ever heard.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. That is crazy. But you look, and Jaime, I'm sorry, I'm kind of not getting to you right now, but I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. You look at what's going on. You look, professional wrestling right now is dying. It's dying. It can't be ignored. Ratings for the two big companies are becoming less and less on a weekly basis. What's the one thing that will never ever happen that would boost ratings, get a lot of crossover appeal from both companies, and maybe bring some fans back? And that's an invasion kind of thing. Maybe even a cross-promotion pay-per-view. It won't work on thousands of reasons. The booking would never make sense. The revenue share would never make sense. The talent share would never make sense. But it's the one thing that could save wrestling. And it's not going to happen.
You're implying that people care about TNA, though.
You would be surprised how many people give a damn about TNA. We're not the only podcast that covers the Tennessee-based Jeff Jarrett ran place. And we'll get to Jeff Jarrett in a second.
People care about TNA in the same way that they care about Sharknado. It's a hot garbage fire. We like to laugh at it.
Whoa, ho, ho. Whoa! You're about to be put on the same probation I got Danny D on over there. TNA's not a garbage fire. They have too many title matches, I'll give you that. Their title picture is murky at best. True. But I'm willing to argue that Impact has been a better show than at least Monday Night Raw for the last month. Overall, if you take the 4 shows from Raw last month and the 4 shows from Impact last month, Impact's been a better show. Impact's had better matches.
Yeah, Impact's been more fluid.
Absolutely. Now, Jaime, you said this was your favorite match. We saw Samoa Joe become the number 1 contender for the Universal Championship. Talk to me about that choice. Was that the right choice?
Well, I don't. Me personally, I do not like the fact that they decided that Samoa Joe is the man to face Brock Lesnar. Because as much as they're both dominant forces, Brock Lesnar is no longer the wrestler he used to be. He used to have good matches up until he returned and he chose to do just suplexes and an F5. But Samoa Joe, on the other hand, he has he's technical in the ring. He has some power moves up his sleeve. I think the match itself is going to be sloppy. And how are they going to possibly, make because Samoa Joe's definitely going to look weak in this match against Brock Lesnar, given the size and how Brock Lesnar wants to work with all those suplexes. I just don't see it working.
Well,
is he going to look weak, or is he going to put him in the coquina clutch and make Brock go to sleep? What if they're taking the title off Brock here?
Not going to happen. Well, the title may come off of Brock, but I have a way it's going to come off that you guys aren't going to like. So, Dan, you're not a fan of Joe there either then, yeah?
No, absolutely. I think that was a great choice.
Why?
Why not?
Finn Balor?
Does anybody really want to see Rollins Brock again? No. Does anybody really want to see Reigns Brock again? No.
Yes.
Do you guys really want to? Yeah, of course. Do you guys really want to see Finn get squashed by Brock?
Who says it's going to be a squash?
That's going to be a squash, unless we're going to get Demon Finn at SummerSlam, and that's when the title comes off Brock. But if that's not how they plan on bringing it off of Brock, then Joe's got to take it. Joe has to take the title at Great Balls of Fire, and he's going to be a great heel champ. He's going to get tons of heat, and Brock can just be your every couple months, guy again, which is what he deserves to be because he's an animal. But he doesn't deserve to have that title on him. I forgot there was a Universal title. I haven't seen it since he won it at Mania. So, I mean,
okay, Dan. Let me ask you this. Say Joe does win the Universal Championship from Brock Lesnar, okay? They have to have a rematch at SummerSlam. That would be the main event of SummerSlam. Is Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar strong enough to headline the second biggest pay-per-view of the year?
Yes.
No.
I think you're discounting Joe's work.
I think you're over-exaggerating Joe. They have not built Joe in the last year to be the man to take that mantle. The other 4 guys in that match, I would be way more comfortable going into SummerSlam, putting them on the final match of the card, than having Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar, a match that has the potential to be in the 4-star range, but more than likely is going to be 1 to 1.5 because they're both really stiff, and as good as Joe is, that's as bad as Brock is. Alex.
Okay, so you're saying Brock sucks. You're not saying Joe sucks. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Brock is terrible.
basically.
He's terrible for the business.
No, but okay. Alex, Samoa Joe, was he your pick? Is he the right guy?
He wouldn't have been my pick, but I'm happy with it. And here's the thing. Brock is going to keep the title. We all know this. It's a fact. The plan right now is to have Brock keep the title all the way to WrestleMania, and Roman Reigns will beat him at WrestleMania, and Roman Reigns will have his big crowning achievement, and he'll be the big baby face, and blah, 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 blah. So the best we can hope for is Samoa Joe getting this back and forth Hoss match. It'll be really good. So that's the best possible outcome. So let's hope for that.
And
No.
Roman wins Riot.
That is the worst possible outcome, to have Brock Lesnar carry the title all the way to WrestleMania, which means we'll see him 4 more times. We'll see him at the SummerSlam. We'll see him after Great Balls of Fire. We'll see him at SummerSlam. We'll see him at Survivor Series, at the Rumble, and at WrestleMania. That's terrible.
We'll probably see him at Hell in the Cell too, or is that a SmackDown pay-per-view?
I don't really know. Anyway, all of you are wrong about Samoa Joe. All of you like Samoa Joe as a pick, and you're all wrong, and let me tell you why. Well, I pretty much already told you why. Samoa Joe is not a big draw. He was in TNA. He's not in the WWE, because they haven't built him as such. They build him as a mercenary, as somebody that can do somebody else's bidding, and not somebody that can do his own. He's had one major feud in the entire time he's been on the main roster, and that was with Seth Rollins over a fluke injury that happened to Rollins. Not because Joe is this big bad superstar who legit hurts people. It was a freak injury to Rollins' knee. That's the only thing Joe has done of quality since he came to the main roster almost a year ago. I would have rather have seen Finn, even if he gets destroyed at Great Balls of Fire and becomes the Demon Finn at SummerSlam. That's a better draw. Roman Reigns, for as much as we would have absolutely hated it, I would have watched to see how many suplexes he would have taken, how many F5s it would have taken before they put the Superman down. Bray Wyatt is probably the best choice they didn't make, because Bray has that crossover, I'm supposed to be a bad guy, but I'm so over, everybody cheers me as a good guy. It would have been amazing to see Bray Wyatt and Paul Heyman for 6 weeks between Great Balls of Fire and SummerSlam go at it on the mic. Would have loved it. As far as Seth Rollins, he would have been a better choice because the underdog story is so ingrained in what Seth Rollins is. It's perfect. Because anytime Paul Heyman says anything, all Rollins has to be is like, yeah, well, beat him at WrestleMania. It's a perfect dick thing to say to a bad guy to make yourself get over. 4 of those guys would have been a better choice than Samoa Joe. I like Samoa Joe. I've loved Samoa Joe's work in TNA. I've even liked some of his work in Ring of Honor. Yes, I'm watching indie wrestling now. I'm hating myself for doing it, but I'm watching it. He was the worst choice out of the 5. Completely terrible choice. Although he kind of saved himself with what he did on Monday Night Raw by doing something we've all have dreamed to do, and that's choke out Paul Heyman. Dan, was it believable for Samoa Joe to choke out Paul Heyman? How did you feel about that segment?
I absolutely loved it. It got Joe heat because everyone is a Heyman guy. Everyone is a Heyman guy because of his mic work.
Well, no. Not because of his... We're all Heyman guys, but for different reasons. It's not just because of his mic work, but continue.
Okay, I'll give you that. But, I mean, it's just... No, I absolutely loved it because now it's like... Now we know we're getting Brock. We know we're going to see Brock a little bit more before Great Balls of Fire. It might be once or twice, but we're still going to see him, and I think we're going to get a good idea of what the match might look like on Monday this week.
Yeah, Lesnar will be at Raw this week. Alex, talk to me. The whole thing about him telling Heyman, cornering him and telling him, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and you're going to do this. In the corner, pretty much off mic, but in a really calm and psychopathic manner. Is that something that you enjoyed, or is that something that just didn't connect for you?
I loved that because it made him look like such this. I don't know. It made him look like a mob boss, and that it's almost like he doesn't want to do it, but he's just like, yeah, I'm going to do it anyway.
That is 100% correct. You said mob boss, and in mob bosses in wrestling, you know, mob bosses dress in suits. Samoa Joe in a suit. I think Main Event Mafia. Who else was in it? Kurt Angle. Who else could have been in it? AJ Styles. Bam, we're back to the invasion angle. Woo! All right, Jaime, tell me, Samoa Joe, Paul Heyman, does Joe have enough on the mic to keep up with Heyman to make this work for 6 weeks? Or for 8 weeks, really, until SummerSlam?
Yet to see, but... yeah, I'll just wait till it happens, but I think no. If you're going to ask me now, no. But I'm curious because Samoa Joe can talk, definitely, but Heyman has this ability to put hype in his words more than Joe does. So
you're saying you're saying Heyman's on another level. He's on a Heyman level. Is anybody on the Heyman level? Screw the Neville level, the Heyman level. Is anybody up there that could hang with him verbally, Jaime?
Definitely yes, but if you're going to talk about giving hype, selling the match, I think right now Heyman's going to do better, but I want to see Joe outdo that in this coming weeks.
Okay, very well. And I mean, it's hard to outdo a spot as big as choking out Paul freaking Heyman. That I mean, I don't know where you go from there short of, I don't know, choking out Sable to get at Brock Lesnar. I mean, that's actually pretty good. Maybe I should write for the WWE. I'm so good. I am so good. Anyway, let's jump over to SmackDown real quick. We kind of covered Extreme Rules, talked a little bit about the only notable thing that happened on Raw. Dan, you have to go here shortly. I understand work dictates, and the agreement we have with your lawyer says you can only be on for a certain amount of time. Talk to me about the Fashion Files, Dan.
Oh my god. Such great segments, and they're not going away anytime soon. It is about time these two guys got a push. Granted, even if they never get the title, it's just that they're actually not just jobbing out. It's amazing.
Do they deserve the titles, yes or no?
Yes.
No, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. They don't deserve it. There are 5 more tag teams that deserve it more than the Fashion Police, than Breezango. Rebuttal?
Name them.
Oh.
Name the other 5.
I'm not on trial here, all right? I'm not the one that's got to do this. I'm just saying they're not
You're
there.
telling me there's 5 other tag teams that deserve them. I'm asking which 5.
Me and my son deserve them more, I think. You know, Breezango is a comedy act. What comedy act has ever been over as a tag team?
The Fashion Police. That's why they deserve. The New Day were a comedy act.
The New Day were a comedy act until the bell rang. They didn't dress in costumes and have a costume change during a match. They didn't do that.
That takes talent. That is a true superstar.
It makes a mockery of wrestling.
Calm down, Cornette.
Dan, go away. Go away, Dan. I'm done with you for this
Hold on.
week.
One more thing that I have to tell you guys, because I know you guys are getting ready to jump into TNA. So for anybody out there listening to the podcast, Flow Slam TV.
Go away, Dan. Go away, Dan.
No, listen. They're going to be broadcasting the one night only, and it's only $20 a month.
Really?
And there's a whole bunch. Huh?
Hey, send me a message with your login info. We'll see what we can do about that.
Yeah, changed your mind now.
Anyway.
I'll see you guys later.
See you, Dan.
Hit me up on Twitter, Real D Direct.
Yeah, we were going to get to that later. Whatever. Bye, Dan. All right. Now that the cancer is off the podcast, talk to me about SmackDown. Alex, what did you like from the blue brand, if you will? Alex.
Nakamura versus Owens.
Okay, yeah, that was. I figured somebody would pick that. What did you think about Lana? Should she be in the ladder match? Should she be in the title match for the women's championship?
Lana should not be wrestling.
Hey, that's unfair. We haven't seen her wrestle. She might be good. Is she?
From all accounts, from people who have been to NXT live shows recently, no, she is not.
If she wrestles half as good as she looks, we'll be all right. Jaime, Lana, yay or nay? Title, ladder, nothing. What do you got?
Title, but not now. Ladder, I don't think. Although she's training, I don't think she's ready for it.
Okay.
But you have Carmella in there, so
Hey, good
maybe
point.
putting Lana there would make sense.
Absolutely. Should this ladder match even be taking place? Jaime?
This Money in the Bank for the women's title.
Yes.
If they could create a good story out of the winner and out of the title picture, maybe yes. If they could create a good story out of the winner.
Okay, now, Alex, I was giving this some thought. Is there a chance Lana gets lucky, rolls up Naomi real quick, and then the winner of the ladder match cashes in on Lana, and we don't have to worry about Charlotte holding the briefcase for 6 months? Is it feasible?
I guess. I mean, they basically did the same thing with Dean Ambrose last year, so it's possible. But
well, you can only do so many things with a briefcase before you. I mean, there's been 16 winners of the briefcase in 17 matches.
Something like that. But I don't know. I guess maybe. I just don't want to see Lana wrestle at all.
Yeah.
Just stick her back with Rusev.
No, that was god awful. It really was. I forgot what I was going to say. Well, that happens. It's what happens when you have too many concussions, folks. It's true. All right, let's talk about Mojo Rawley real quick.
Yeah.
Jaime, go. Talk to me. Does he deserve a push?
He deserves a push, but not a major push just yet. And Mojo Rawley's one of the victims of the Zack Ryder effect, which I'm going to talk about later. When we talk about what we're doing with our lives right now. So Mojo Rawley, yeah, he deserves the push, but not on a high level yet.
Okay.
Because he's over with the crowd. He has this thing for inspiring kids. So why not use that? Why not capitalize on momentum? But right now, I think he lost his momentum, and that's my lowest point for SmackDown Live this week is the Jinder Mahal versus Mojo Rawley.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't great. Alex, talk to me. Mojo Rawley, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner. That's a mouthful. What do you think? Does he deserve more?
No. No. He's so annoying. I just don't want him on my TV.
Is it because he's friends with Gronk and you're not a Patriots fan? Is that what it is?
I'm not an American football fan as a whole, so there's that, but he's so annoying.
The fact that you worded as American football means you watch soccer, and it's depressing. It's depressing. Moving
Go
on.
Timbers.
What's that?
Go Timbers.
No. And even that you're an MLS fan is probably worse. I can give you if you root for, Manchester United or Chelsea or somebody like that. But you root for, what is that, Portland?
Yeah.
MLS.
Yeah.
MLS. You actively watch MLS.
I wouldn't say actively. I watch it every now and then.
So, okay, wow. You're a special kind of person, Alex, and we're glad to have you on this earth. And that's me trying to be nice. Let's talk about Impact real quick before we end this podcast. We have a few minutes left before we get to what we're going on. They're in India this week. Another Impact where we saw 4 title matches. Low-Ki got his face busted open. Jaime, Low-Ki, and Sanjay Dutt next week. 15 years in the making. Do we see Sanjay grab the X Division Championship?
Not in the first try, maybe. Since they're not in India, so there's nothing behind Sanjay Dutt except the history. But maybe not in the first try.
I do believe that taping, they've already taped that match in India, actually.
Yeah, they've already taped it in India. And I can tell you what the result is if you'd like.
No. This is a spoiler-free show. I don't want it to spoil for me because I got to do the recap on it, and when I know what's going to happen, it kills me. My question to you, Alex, are you tired of seeing Brother Love on your television screen? You're tired of Mojo Rawley. What about Brother Love?
I'm actually more okay with, what's his actual name?
Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, Brother Love. Bruce Pritchard, that's it. I'm more okay with him, but, I don't know. I do think he should go away, but I don't hate him as much as I hate Mojo Rawley.
6 on-screen appearances last night. 6. It's
the difference between
ridiculous.
him and Mojo is that I don't feel like Bruce Pritchard would... Like, I would rather have to be around Bruce Pritchard because I don't feel like he would be this douchey dude bro.
I don't care if he's a douchey dude bro. He's a douche. He's not even the bag that the douche comes in. He's the entire cardboard packaging and everything inside of it that you buy the douche from your local pharmacy. He's the all-encompassing package. I can't stand the decisions he makes, even though I know it's all storyline and blah, blah, blah. I still like to live in kayfabe every now and again. I don't like him. I don't like him when he opens his mouth. I don't like the stuff he's done in the past. I don't like the stuff he's doing in the present. I don't like his plans for the future. I don't like Bruce Pritchard. As a person, I'm sure he's a great human being. And I've listened to his podcast a few times. Excellent stories. Dude's a legend in wrestling. His character on TNA can go blow a goat. Not a fan.
Why would you wish that upon the goat? That poor goat.
Hey, at least the goat would get some love because what is Bruce Pritchard known for saying? I love you. That was perfect. That was perfect. All right. Caleb Connolly got an X Division title shot because he got an X Division title shot. Anybody okay with that? Anybody care about that? We all knew who was going to win that, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Who even is Caleb Conley? What is his character? What has he done?
Exactly. Now, every once in a while we'll see enhancement talent, your local talent, the guys that are from an indie show in the next town over, come on to TV and get jobbed out. We saw that last night as Davey Richards, I'm not even sure how to spell the kid's name, Vicus something? Let's see, what is it?
Vikus
Kumar? Yeah. Well, he got fed to Davey Richards, and then he got fed to EC3's belt. Anybody else feel bad for this guy?
Yeah, he got double whammy.
Yeah. Anybody else feel bad for him? Because, I mean, it's just, the guy gets a shot on TV, gets destroyed by Davey Richards, has to tap out in his home country, probably in his home city, and then EC3 literally thrashes him with a belt. Alex, you feel bad?
Nah, I lulled.
Millennial garbage. Jaime, you feel bad?
Yeah, because it's his hometown, and this guy might be an up-and-comer in his country, in India, but, no, in US TV, he dropped.
Okay, I have some questions. They're going to be kind of rhetorical. Why would you book a GFW World Heavyweight Championship match in the main event and have the title of your company be in the mid-card? Why is Eli Drake and Adonis beating up El Patron? Why is Moose making the save? Why is Moose and Bobby Lashley happening? Why is a title or a champion versus championship match for a championship not in your main event? Does any of that make sense?
Jeff Jarrett loves jerking himself off over how great he is and how great his attempt at making another wrestling company was.
Jaime, thoughts?
Yeah, Alex beat me to that. That's what I was about to say. Double J.
Okay, fair enough. Rockstar Spud and Swoggle. I thought Swoggle cut probably the promo of the night last night. I thought he did really well in something that is so... It's just going to be comical for comical's sake. Does anybody care about this other than me? Like, I legitimately want to see this. Anybody care? Jaime, care?
I'm going to care about it if Swoggle could hang in the ring with... Match-wise with Rockstar Spud. Because despite Rockstar Spud's short stature, I don't think... No. He's small enough to match to Swoggle's level. Like El Torito did. So...
God, that was such a great match.
Only if they could be able to put up a good match.
That should have been match of the year. Man. Alex, will we see a tadpole splash onto the singing potato?
I
don't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Fair enough. Moving on. Joseph Park, Jeremy Borash training segments. Anybody like them? No?
No.
Jaime? No?
In a way, yeah. I'll go with yes.
Okay. Now, I have to ask this question, and this is going to make me sound like such a nerd. KM, are you calling me a liar? Apparently, it's going to be his catchphrase. I just want to see the fat kid from Drake and Josh come out of nowhere and say, well, I ain't calling you a truther. Anybody else into that? Or is that just me trying to be funny?
Actually got that reference.
Ah, damn, Jaime understood one. Alex, you get it?
Oh, yes.
Alright, perfect.
The only thing better would be if Crazy Steve, or whatever his name was, I think his name was Crazy Steve on Drake and Josh came out.
Something like that, yeah. You talking about the guy that went up being into iCarly? We were talking way too much about
the
Nickelodeon.
brother on iCarly.
We were talking about way too much Nickelodeon on the show. Alright, a couple of quick hits. Last thing, Allie Rosemary storyline. Is this something you guys want to see? I personally couldn't care less.
Same.
Alex?
Yeah.
Holy shit, we all agree on something. Okay, last thing, you guys know that I am a commentary guru, I guess you can say. Pope's absence on commentary. It was noticeable last night, correct?
Yeah.
Very well. We all agree on something else, too. All right, let's go around and pull this podcast and rein it in. Alex, tell me what's going on in your personal life and where the people can find you on Twitter.
You can find me at officialunfunny on Twitter. You can find me as the Unfunny Comedian on Facebook, Unfunny Comedian on YouTube. And I'm not up to a whole lot, so go listen to this instead.
Right. And remember, he doesn't hate women at all.
I hate women equally to men.
Okay. So there's no... He believes in equality is what we're going to say on this. I'm trying to be nicer. I'm trying not to pick on people as much. So, you're into equality. Is that what we're going to go with, Alex?
I hate everyone equally.
Equality it is. Jaime, what are you working on this week for RealSport101.com, and where can the people find you?
Okay, so I have an article coming called The Zack Ryder Effect. So basically, the Zack Ryder Effect is... It started when Zack Ryder won the US title from Dolph Ziggler back in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. Because, you see, they only put the title around Zack Ryder's waist to put Dolph Ziggler in the world title picture. So, basically, Dolph Ziggler was rewarded for losing. And so, fast forward years later, that happened. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. We thought that second Helluva kick that Sami Zayn put on Kevin Owens would push him up the cards, but no. He was pushed down the cards while Kevin Owens pretty much held every title except the Tag Team Championship.
Yet.
And right now, you have Mojo Rawley defeating Jinder Mahal. Then, a week later, Jinder Mahal's the one who gets the world title opportunity while Mojo Rawley gets pushed down the card as well. And the result of their match in SmackDown Live this week proves my point.
Very well. Where can the people find you on Twitter? Got a new Twitter handle this week?
No, still the same at the great JLA, so follow me, guys.
Alrighty, and just to let you guys know about the impressive host that I am, not only can you find me on the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast found right here on RealSport101.com, YouTube, and SoundCloud, you can also find me in the baseball section, in the hockey section, in the football section, and as always, holding down the fort doing all the recaps and listening to stories you may not know in professional wrestling. So that is all from us here on the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast. Next week, we're hoping to get forward with the trial of the real Danny D. We're also looking at Money in the Bank, breaking down all 11 competitors and letting you know who has the most chance of getting on the briefcase. You're also going to be able to find an article on each match done by me on RealSport101.com before the pay-per-view, so you can break down those betting odds and make your calls to your illegal bookies unless you're in Nevada or Atlantic City. Now, if you're not down with us, Jaime, he's got 2 words for you.
Keep listening.